Okey. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Selamat datang semua. Thank you for joining us today for today's webinar. So sebelum saya start kita punya webinar series ni, saya perkenalkan diri saya dahulu. Nama saya Awang Ihsan bin Awang Yunus daripada UiTM Cawangan Sarawak. Dan saya akan jadi moderator untuk siri webinar kita pada pagi ini. Jadi sebelum kita bermula, ada sedikit reminder lah macam biasa, to ensure that kita punya event, to ensure that our webinar series kita berjalan dengan lancar pada pagi ini, saya mohon kerjasama daripada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan to ensure that your audio button is muted supaya kita tak ada gangguan dan sebagainya. Jika ada soalan yang ingin dikemukakan, boleh kemukakan melalui chat box dekat Webex tuan-tuan dan puan-puan di sebelah kanan bahagian bawah sekali. Okay, jadi ataupun nanti pada penghujung sesi ceramah kita akan adakan sesi soal jawab bersama dengan penceramah kita pada pagi ini. Okay. Dan kita punya webinar series akan bermula sekejap lagi. Sekian, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. The Honorable Mr. Speaker, Surveyor Dr. Muhammad Rosdi bin Senam, distinguished guests, fellow colleagues, students, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Dan salam sejahtera dan selamat pagi. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this prestigious webinar series. This collaborative webinar series is organized by Shariah in Built Environment, SiBE, Southeast Asia Built Environment Research Center, ACABERC, Fakulti Seni Bina Perancangan dan Ukur, FSPU, dan Muamalah Islamic Built Environment, MILBE, bersama-sama dengan Academy of Contemporary Islamic Studies, ACIS. So today's webinar topic is Islamic Leadership Principles in Project Management. So in this occasion, we shall have outstanding presentation from our prominent presenter, whom I believe shall enrich our insights and knowledge regarding the theme of this seminar. Before the presentation begin, allow me to introduce the speaker for today. Our speaker today is Surveyor Dr. Muhammad Rosdi bin Senam. He was born in 1973, received his first education at Sekolah Kebangsaan Sungai Kelambu Banting, and then continue at Sekolah Menengah Sains Selangor Kuala Lumpur. He then furthered his diploma studies at UPM in 1994, and then continued his academic journey by pursuing BSc Honours in Quantity Surveying at Liverpool John Moores University, UK in 1996 to 1998, and I believe that he is actually a Liverpool fan if he is coming from Liverpool John Moores University. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor. And then he continued with his Master in Engineering International Project Management in Stuttgart, Germany, and then completed his PhD in 2019 at University Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia. Currently held position as Ketua Pengarah Kanan, Bahagian Ukur Bahan dan Pengurusan Kontrak, Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran Malaysia. Untuk pengetahuan semua, he has published around 20 conference paper and journal publication. He has more than 21 years experience in public projects in Malaysia and has been with JPR since 1999. And he is involved in a lot of research pertaining to guaranteed maximum price, GMP, procurement method, Shariah compliant construction contracts and project management, alternative public procurement methods, Shariah compliant construction contracts and project management, Islamic perspective of leadership in project management and sustainable procurement. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our presenter for today. He will deliver presentation entitled Islamic Leadership Principles in Project Management. Please welcome Surveyor Dr. Muhamad Rosdi bin Senam. The screen is yours, Doctor.
Okey, dengar. Beres awang? Okey. Boleh dengar?
Okey, dengar.
Okey.
Baik.
Okey. Terima kasih kepada Awang Ehsan from UiTM as the host, sebagai host. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Professors, associate professors, doctors, Datuk, Datin, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, surveyors, engineers, architects, landscape architects and all professionals. Pertamanya saya ucapkan berbanyak terima kasih kepada Fakulti Disipliner Perancangan dan Ukur, FSPU, UiTM Shah Alam dan juga UiTM Sarawak. Prof. Hairudin, my ex-supervisor dulu masa PhD, kerana bagi saya peluang untuk menyertai dan membentangkan webinar ini. Kita saya mulakan dengan pantun sikit. Okay. Buah cepadak di luar pagar, ambil galah tolong jolokkan. Saya budak baru belajar, kalau salah tolong tunjukkan. Okey. Saya Muhamad Rosdi bin Senam. Izinkan saya, kerana saya dimaklumkan ada peserta dari luar negara. Brother Awang?
Saya rasa ada kot, tapi kalau kita nak bagi tahu dalam both language, PM and GI, saya rasa tak ada masalah.
Okay. Setakat ni
Saya
berapa?
nampak macam semula kelas kan. Kalau ada mungkin host daripada Salam boleh inform kita.
Setakat ni berapa partisipan yang kita ada?
Sekejap saya check dulu. Saya ada apa ni? Survey Nordin, boleh bantu tak? Saya
Okey.
nak check berapa jumlah.
Okay.
Kita
Kita
ada
tengok.
26 partisipan termasuk dengan kita sekali lah. Buat masa ni
Okey,
kita ada 26.
mungkin nanti akan ada yang join kemudian lah. Okey, oleh itu izinkan saya bercakap dalam bahasa Inggeris lah untuk memudahkan sekiranya kita ada partisipan dari luar negara. Okay, before I proceed, I wish to clarify a few terms. Maknanya, I'm from JPS, Malaysia, which is Jabatan Pengairan Saliran Malaysia, or actually we are DID, Department of Drainage and Irrigation Malaysia, and we are actually under KASA, which is Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, and I will refer JPS throughout my presentation, and also JKR is actually Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia, or the Public Works Department of Malaysia, PWD. And so these two are actually technical departments in Malaysia. Okay, you may ask also in both languages later as you feel comfortable with. Okay, once again I thank UiTM for giving me the opportunity to present in this webinar. Thank you all participants. Yep. Okay, I have more or less 50 slides, inshallah, and not many slides, but I will try to be to present within the time 1 hour, inshallah. Uh, I will cover some background and also Islamic leadership principles (ILP), and then project management, some quotes from Quran and Hadith, muamalat and maqasid Shariah, things that are related also to Islam and Islamic leadership, and then some proposals uh, on how can we apply this is ILP in project management, inshallah. Okay, project management. So my background actually, we have project management, and then we have also public projects, means government projects in Malaysia, and then we also have Islamic leadership and also leadership in conventional perspective. So in this presentation, actually, we will try to merge all this to integrate as what I have done in my research before. So project management, projects we know is temporary, unique, complex, dynamic, and full of risks and uncertainties. So why do we need project management? Because and project success is something that we have to achieve at the end of the journey. You know, we have projects with its characteristic, and then we have on the other end we have targets or objectives to be achieved, which is project success. So what is the role of PM, project management? I call PM as project management, is to actually help projects to achieve project objective. As simple as that. So project success by traditional definitions, although the definition has evolved over the years, but basically these parameters of time, cost, quality, and also now they have this satisfying the client or client satisfaction, are still very much dominant in terms of definition of project success. So PM role is actually to help to assist project. Without PM, project can still complete, but not normally it goes beyond the parameters that has been defined, time, cost, quality. So, and also PM box says projects needs leadership to steer projects, to steer, I mean, leadership with its project management knowledge and skills will steer project, inshallah, to project success. Okay, now we have government projects in Malaysia. We have been facing that whether it is from the public perspective or whether it is from anecdotal or it is also evidence and facts that we have issues of performance of public projects in Malaysia, which is, I mean, we define from the time, cost, quality parameters. We have been facing issues of project delivery, project not meeting the success criteria. I mean, delays goes beyond the stipulated budget and some issues of quality. So this is not something which is so surprising, but there have been many reports and coverage in the media on the performance of government projects in Malaysia. This is just examples. some what a typical term they use when for government, when it is 20% more than the schedule, it is considered sick project or project sakit call it. This is just examples, but it is not specific to any department. I mean, it is not specific to JKR or JPS or any agencies, but it happens across the board of many government projects that we have also other agencies implementing projects, not only JKR and JPS, we have other agencies, government agencies also implementing projects. So this is issue. This is an issue. Whether it is small projects or big. For example, like this MRT, it has been years. It has been long delay, and still, it is still going on. Okay, this like this we have, for example, for JPS, we have this River of Life project ROL. It is it's a very long period project, but it's still not completed. It has started 2011, but until now, it is not completed. And recently, 2 months ago, a new date for completion has been set, 2024. So it is a scenario for public projects in Malaysia. And it is not actually only in media, but academic research has also been published on the performance of projects in Malaysia, public project in Malaysia, and empirical data also has been provided, saying that public projects in Malaysia is somehow underperformance. Now, leadership is a central. Leadership actually is not something which is rare. It is common. It is known to many people that leadership dictates the fate of a collective group. Whether it is organization, whether it is a politic, whether it is a society group or social group, whether it is a military, and also running a country even more. So leadership is very important and crucial. Even in Islam also, if there is an hadith, if you travel more than two, so appoint one as a leader. So leadership, by all means, by all perspective, is very important. Of course, project management also in this context, we say it is very important. So if you look at project management in the PM board, although PM board focus more on the technical processes, but leadership is also briefly stated under the interpersonal skills, which is expertise or areas that are needed to be possessed by project managers and project team. Okay, now another background is Islamizations, that the government of Malaysia has been consistent in their efforts to bring in Islamic practices. We have this Islamic banking in 1980s. Beginning with that, since then the efforts are going on and has been even more prominent. And then we have also this takaful. Then establish institutions, including UiTM itself, and also JAKIM. And the latest is not latest, but actually 2015. The government introduced Markazat Shariah Index for Malaysia. So this agenda, or I don't know whether we should call it agenda or what, but this is a good effort that has been put by the government of Malaysia to practice Islamic principles into public sector. And of course, we in the construction industry, we also have to reflect this. Okay, now, why actually we need to embrace what is so different, what is so special, why what is good about this Islamic, you know. Allah says in the Quran, we have not sent you, the Prophet SAW, except as a mercy to the worlds. So Surah Al-Anbiya 107. Actually, Islam and with its Shariah is not meant only for the Muslim. No, it is for all, for mankind, for all creatures, for all makhluk on earth. And of course, the guidance in the Quran is not only for religious scriptures or practices, but of course, including project management. Okay? We have all disciplines: science, engineering, project management, businesses are actually guided by the Quran, because Quran and Hadith from Prophet SAW comprehensive for all facets of life, for all affairs, not specific only to religious or spiritual practices only. So of course, project management is not excluded. We have to embrace Islamic practices, because in Islam, we have to coexist with the other creatures, with other makhluk, and to promote good deeds, prohibiting injustice, and prohibiting wrongdoings, and to live in harmony. Okay, now, this is, I would call, I would say, I try to demonstrate this concept of Islamic principles, leadership principles, being embraced and imbued into project management. Okay, now we have life in this world, including, of course, project management. And whatever we do in this world, whatever affairs, matters, all businesses, transactions that we do in this world, on this earth, everything. Okay. If we look only from conventional perspective, it is only we look from the materialistic achievement. In this context, for example, project management. Project management is to achieve project success. Means satisfying the client, satisfying our director, satisfying the government, that's all. That's it. But if we add another dimension of Islamic perspective, project management goes beyond this typical materialistic, typical objective. I mean, time, cost, quality, and so on, budget and everything. it is actually, we do project management also as everything that we do and actions are actually counted with the proper niat. It will be counted as amal. I mean, there is the biggest client of all clients in the world. That is the biggest client that we have is Allah SWT. If I can put it that way there. So we are actually Khalifah and leader, and also we are servant to Allah SWT. So being project manager, executing project management, if we have a broader perspective, seeing project management from the Islamic perspective, we have a wider dimensions that we not only project manager, but we are also Khalifah in the project management. That must give and add bigger dimensions and perspective. And with that, other than those PMBOK technical guidelines that we have to comply, so we we have to abide all the commandments and prosper this world to, for example, to be in harmony while executing our projects. We also doing good things, amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, so that our projects will be parallel in both dimensions. So we integrate both worldly and the hereafter. Apart from the technical guidelines that we always have, of course, we have technical guidelines, PMBOK, and also arahan that these directors, these specifications. We also lead project management based on the Quran and Sunnah. So that is basically what this idea to demonstrate Islamic leadership principles. So we have in Islam, we have this belief system, which is the Aqidah, and then we have this worship or ibadah. I mean, ibadah is the manifestation of belief system. If you believe, but it is not followed by amal, then it is not. There is no manifestations of your belief system. And then, lastly, we have, after you have the belief, you have the tauhid, akidah, and you practice, and then you have these ethics, akhlak, mean doing goods, doing good things, and ihsan. So these are all the fundamentals of Islam, and if we can if a project manager can have these dimensions, and that every actions is actually not only answerable to the people, to the client, to the boss. It is answerable to Allah SWT. So every action is is an action of ibadah with the proper niat, with the niat that we want to do, with the good niat and intention. Okay. And furthermore, if the project manager has this in mind, this is hablum min Allah, relationship with Allah SWT, and then also ibadah is hablum minan nas, relationship with other human beings, and hablum minal alamin, relationship with environment. If they can integrate all this into the practice of project management, then this will help them to be Khalifah project manager and execute things uh, in accordance with the principles of Shariah and Islam, which of course be good also for the conventional perspective. So what is the impact? So we have uh, uh, project management and project management team, which self-supervise, internal control, I mean focus, because of this strong, because of this clear insight, guided, uh, clean, clear mind, transparent, because they know that their role is great. I mean, their role is big to achieve project objective, and at the same time to achieve the objective of the akhirat. So it is, I will call it inside out. I mean, inside will dictate the outcome, the actions that in line with the what is permitted in Sharia. So with these greater dimensions, inshallah, our projects, because they have strong internal control, they have clear internal mind and heart. They lead projects with conscious, what you call, sorry, they lead project with Islamic conscious mind and heart. Inshallah, project will be performed with better performance, and they don't even require audit team to come to do auditing, and they have, because they will have in place a good project management plus project governance. I would say project governance because things like integrity that always been come out, that always been said in public, are actually governance issue, tapi urus, you know, which for some technical, post-professional technical people, they don't really address at in the technical guideline. So this missing will be addressed by these Islamic principles, inshallah. So ultimately, what do we have? Our project management is project management which has its soul, ada roh. Not only project management that is physical, but it is also project management with internal, with spiritual, ada roh. So our project management will be comes with maslahah. I mean, consider the interests of the people, the public at large, with Shariah. Inshallah, will be blessed by Allah SWT. Comes with rahmah, barakah. Maybe one time we don't need supervision. I mean, if all parties, not only the GKR, GPS, what, if the consultant, the contractors also having the same kind of perspective, dimensions, we don't need audit maybe, because it is always self-audited and self-complied and self-supervised. That is the ultimate, our ultimate, what we have in mind. Sooner, if we continue practicing, promoting this type of Islamic principles. Okay, now that's story about project management. Now, in my PhD, I have identified Islamic leadership principle, ILP, are discussed in, of course, Islamic studies, published by many authors, credible authors. I have come up with, in my PhD, with 6 ILP, and which is the manifestation. First thing, of course, the first principle of leadership in Islam comes from the appointment, from the reason why men are created on earth. Why Nabi Adam sent down to earth? So because to be his Khalifah. So the first principle, of course, like in Surah Al-Baqarah, kan, Allah said that He wanted to appoint Khalifah or vicegerent on earth to prosper the world, to prosper the earth. So this is the first fundamental principle of Islamic leadership, you know, because we are all Khalifah, and with our roles, fundamental role is to prosper this world, abide in Shariah, and also coexist with others, and promoting good deeds and preventing harmful. Secondly, we have this knowledge acquisition. Of course, to lead, you must have knowledge. You must be competent. And of course, there are many verses in the Quran telling about this knowledge, the importance of knowledge for leaders and also for all, for us. For example, in Surah Al-Mujadalah, Allah said, He raised above others, uh, men and people, human that have knowledge. So with that knowledge, the darjat is actually uplifted. And also, thirdly, responsibility. Of course, to be leader, to lead, it is a trust. It is an amanah from Allah SWT. And Allah says that Allah said in Surah An-Nisa, ayat 58, that you render or responsibility must be given to the qualified person, to the competent person, you know, ahliha, the person who are qualified must can only be given the amanah. Don't give amanah to the wrong person. This is a disaster. And thirdly, and four is team working. Of course, consultation has been always been promoted by Islam, propagated by Islam. In Surah Al-Shura, Allah says that we have to establish prayers, pay zakat, and also consult and practice shura, consultation. And then leaders by example. By example. So in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah says the prophets is actually uswatun hasanah, the best character. I mean the nobles examples for us. And lastly, visions. Leaders is to set visions and set the directions, and then how can we achieve the visions. And Surah Al-Qasas ayat 77, for example, Allah says, وَابْتَغِي فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ دَارَ الْآخِرَةِ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Means, while we pursue our efforts for the hereafter, we shouldn't forget our bounty, our parts in this world. Kan? And wahsin kama ahsanallahu ilaik, and do goods as Allah has done goods for all of us. Wala tabghi fasad, and don't do mischievous or damage fil ard, on earth, because Allah do not like those who commit such behaviors. Okay. Now, in my research, actually, I focus on how can we imbue or embrace ILP into project phases. This is typical project phases. This is actually from GKR and also JPS, which project management, normally we have 5 phases, which is planning, design, procurement, production, and handover. So there are many potentials that we can imbue LLP. Sorry. And my PhD actually has come up with this list of ILP and the strategies and how can we apply. So I'm not going to go details on this, but okay, for example, I'm not going to go details, but those who are interested can contact me, can email me. Yeah? Okay, go back to the slide. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Now, so what is the way forward? After we have discussed all the perspective of Islamic leadership in the project management and so on and those issues, so what is the way forward? How many more minutes I have? 20 minit
20 minit
Okay?
saja.
20 minit, okay. Now, we have for many years, for many administration, different prime minister, number 4 prime minister, and also number 4 prime minister was also the same as the number 7 prime minister. So, okay, last time we have the 4th prime minister, dasar penerapan Islam. This is just a reflection, reflection. And also then we have Islam Hadiri. Then we have Makasid Shariah. Then not very last year we have this Rahmatan lil Alamin, which is also, of course, I have touched just now, that Islam is to bring rahmah to all, of course, to all, including project management, including whatever we do. And now, for example, the present government, I've read a few books on the current publications by Datuk Dr. Zulkifli Al-Bakri and also Jakim, that this Tabik Urus berteraskan Makasid Syariah and also Minda Makasid, which is of course is what actually we have been talking about. They have lay down where the principle of Makasid Syariah and Syariah can be applied into the administration, into the running of organization. So, okay. Okay. So the question of why, what, how, 5 was 1 husband, where, which, how can we apply? How can we actually bring this idea and concept into for GKR and GPS? This is just example. This example. In mission statement, we have contracts, we have procurement guidelines, documentation, we have thousands of publications in GKR and GPS. We have so many guidelines from building to roads and everything. So we can actually institutionalize this, streamline into project management, and but it has to be in phases. We try to induce and imbue little by little where we can from time to time. So, and of course, for GPS JKR, as the lead technical department, we are actually the models. If we can have, if we can practice, then of course, other agencies that implementing projects can emulate from us. And we also have, this is probably at the from the certification perspective, certification and accreditation, SIRIM offers this MS 1900, Islamic KMS, and but this is now general. This is for marketing, for IKS, SMEs, for organization. It can be for management or processes. Now they apply this to ensure that the products or the processes are compliant with Shariah. This is for marketing. But for us in project management, we can also apply this. Just ensuring that our project management are actually in line with the principle of Islam and Sharia. Okay, now this is very fundamental of Islam, and of course, any Islamic models, be it Shariah banking, be it Islamic leadership or whatever, has the foundation from these three, of course, including Islamic leadership, of course. As I said, I presented just now, belief system, we have manifestation, which is ibadah and Shariah, manifestation of belief, and then we have this ihsan or akhlak. In conventional, they say moral and ethics. So, in the following slide, I will present some quotes from the Quran Hadith, and also some principle of Shariah and muamalat, which are also part of the Islamic leadership principles, because Islamic leaders are to practice, uphold Shariah, to put Shariah in place. So, of course, marketing Shariah goes in line with this, and this maqasid is actually the objective of Shariah, the tujuan. So, if we consider this in our project management, then of course our project management will be better, will be in harmony, because we consider religion, we consider the life, so we don't cause damage, we don't do damage to our environment, for example, or to the surrounding, to the people that surrounded the project site, for example, and we consider the lineage, how, for example, rooms are being designed, and the interconnectivity of spaces. These are fundamentals. For example, for GPS, if we do river projects and beach projects, we consider maqasid. Then, of course, our design will be more harmonious and towards protecting the interests of the people and the environment. This is just muamalas. Muamalas is transactions between man and man. So that's what we call bermuamalah, is when you deal man with another man. And it's also including the business transaction, according to Islamic perspective. So this is basic muamalah principles. For example, when you do transaction, this is of course project management also the same. You must practice justice, and you don't press or undermine others. You must be fair, transparent, and don't do against Sharia. And also, like the collection of wealth, we must consider that the poor get supported, get assistance. For example, this is general principles. No haram, no riba, no gharar, uncertainties, gambling. Of course, there is no forbidden products that involve, haram products. I will give some quotes from the Quran, verses from the Quran and Hadith that are also pertinent to project management. For example, in the case of bribery, and the Prophet says, Allah curse, melaknat those who give and those receive, both party. Yang memberi dan menerima, dua-dua dilaknat. Contoh, this is from hadis lah. Curse the one who gives a bread and one who takes it. So with this, if we understand this into our mind and our heart, dare we or not? Do we dare? Are we to to never, don't even think about it lah. Don't even think about it. If our project managers, if our industry is conscious, Islamic conscious, Shariah conscious, there will be prosperity in our industry, in project management. So this is niat. So projects management start with planning. So with the correct niat, we can maneuver projects in such a good manner, inshallah. Okay, in Surah Ali Imran, Allah says, Allah plan, people plan, we plan, kita merancang, Allah merancang kan. They scheme or plan, Allah's plan. But Allah is the supreme scheme. Allah is the best planner. So we do this, if we understand this, we plan our project management. We can plan our projects. But after all the efforts, we render the rest of the project faith into in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we understand this, we will put our best effort and continue with dua, inshallah. This is about tendering. In the Quran, Surah Isra, or measurement, something related to BQ, with QSs, when you measure the truth. Because if not, you lied. If you lied, you will be committing sin, and that is good and better in the end. This is, we do measurement on site, for example. If you do site measurement, whether we are contractor, project manager, if we have this in mind, that Quran has remind, of course, hadith, there are many hadiths. We will do the correct measurement, inshallah. This is about contracting. Allah in the Quran also, there are also verses on contracts in the Quran, and also verses in Surah Baqarah. There are also verses about borrowings. When you borrow, you must put it in writing. Allah, okay, in this Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah has permitted trading and forbidden usury. Okay, be true to your obligation. Okay, this is what. Okay, when you contract a debt from one another, put a period. This is a contract. This is what our contract is. Put the amounts and period in writing, and let a scribe write it down between you. So contract is also in Quran. And also, what is important also, that what we do in this world, of course, project management, is our amal that counted in the hereafter. So the Prophet says, dunya mazra'atul akhirah. World is actually a sowing ground or plantation of vegetation that we plant for akhirah. So, and the reward is to be harvested in the hereafter. So why actually divine guidance? Allah clearly says in the Quran, so who are we to deny? In Surah Al-Talaq, whoever fears Allah, He will make him of his matter ease. Allah will assist. This is like an assurance. So if Allah says, who are we not to be so arrogant, not to follow His guidance? Whoever fears Allah, He will assist. He will help. He will assist. So this is a guarantee from Allah SWT. Of course, including our project management. So project management, there are, as I said, 5 factors, typical. This is in PM Board. Also more or less the same. Initiation, planning, execution. If we in JKR we call it construction lah, or in Malaysia in JPS, performance control and then project closure, handover. Planning, tendering, contracting is crucial. Of course, other part is also crucial because the input that we put in planning and then we tender and then we bind the contract is very important. If we clear and put the right inputs, then our later phases will be inshallah in a good fit. You know, if because many problems, many issues in construction during executions are actually rooted from the problems in planning, for example, and of course drawing, design, tendering, and contracting. So the proposals that I will present in this presentation, I will present in the following slides, is actually post after my PhD. Last year I was at JKR, so we did a proposal. We had 3 rounds of workshops from 10 July to 9 August 2019. We tried to how can we imbue or this Islamic ILP into our project management in JKR. So we started with this planning, tendering, and contracting. So this is some examples. I may not have time to run through everything. You see? Okay, for example, it ties back to the ILP principle, the Islamic leadership principles. For example, leadership is a manifestation of human role at Salifah. See? So, there is a principle of niyat, the right intention when we start projects. So, what we can try to do is, the documents that are prepared at the early stage, for example, the tender documents, or all those letter of award, SST, we try to imbue that you, project manager, and your team must get things right. The intention must be right from the beginning. For example, this project, there is some statement in the letter or some in the documents that not only to the project managers but also to the consultant and contractor, this project is amanah from Allah, and we try to make the feel, and it will leave something in their heart and mind that this project is really not project from the human perspective, but also from the religious perspective. For example, we have, like now, when we award projects, we have a simple ceremony. JKR now practice this. So during this ceremony, we can have a declaration like this, that this project is amanah, so you try to abide the Shariah. So we try to complete everything, be clear, and ikut the Shariah, and try to be successful. So that, of course, we can insert many in the tender documents. And also when we appoint project manager, we may also do the same, so that it will leave something in their heart from the beginning, from the start of the project. For contractor, we can have this. during tender briefing. We say something about the Shariah and project management. So, and for example, this bahawa saya akan melihat cita. So I will protect the environment, and I will not do any harm or damage to the environment. Okay, and also we can also apply the muamalah principles in our tendering and contracting. Those elements of muamalah, the principles. Uh, for example, the simplest way is takaful, and also the Islamic bond. Suku and so on. To make sure that our BQ is transparent and no uncertainties. You know, and no over profiteering. Uh, Reasonable profits. We can have this kind of promote. We try to promote all these good practices. During tender process also, because tender process we have so many forms, so those forms can be uh, improved so that elements of muamalah and Shariah and Islamics can be imbued. Okay, during planning, for example, like I presented just now, we can consider the maqasid al Shariah. This is simple. For example, for the designers, toilets, buildings. There have been buildings that we design uh, uh, to follow the kiblah directions. Although not everything, because it depends on the sites and the locations that are located to the JKR or through JPS. But we can consider this, of course, and maybe we can have uh, Shariah compliant products. Uh, uh, I've been known that there are some products of paints that are not actually they are actually against Sharia, but some Sharia compliant. Those things. Uh, and also we can have al-istisna contracts for sales, for for our contract documents, for our construction, conditional contract COC. We can apply some principle of al-istisna into our contracts. For principal leadership is team working. The creation of BR, I mean the environment of Salihah can be also practiced at our project management or project sites, at our offices, at our department. Uh, and also now we have criteria before we appoint project manager, for example, or architects or engineers, whatever. But our criteria are many technical criteria. Now, maybe it's time that we can have this like aptitude test as one criteria that we can have before appointing project manager. And I found some example of Islamic personality aptitude test, but not in Malaysia lah, in other countries. Okay, and for the principle of leadership is vision. Now we have, for example, if we have management review meeting for organization that are certified with ISO. So this review meeting can be inserted with the concept of muhasabah. I mean, we have this review meeting, technical procedure, how many non-conformance product, non-conformance process, but we extend it to have more like muhasabah, self-reflection as well. Not only the physical review, but also the self-review, the internal review, insert concept muhasabah to the existing management review meeting. Okay, this uh, one example that I have conducted during my tenure briefing last year. We stated something like this in our briefing. Inna Allah yarzuqu man yasha bi ghairi hisab. Uh, During the briefing, there are many contractors, potential contractors. They come and then they listen to our tender briefing. And lastly, we show this surah so that they will feel uh, they will feel something like awareness that about how Allah has reminded us in the Quran. This is an example. Or this aptitude test that I've told just now. This example. This is from other countries. I can remember the countries. Okay, this is majlis akad. Majlis akad, not majlis akad is not necessarily the akad nikah for men and women. So majlis akad can be majlis akad for projects. When we award the LA, letter of award, or we call it sensasti lah, surat setuju terima, we can also give some briefing about the concept of muamalah, Shariah. It's like when we during the akad nikah, before the imam shake our hand and implement the ijab kabul. The imam will brief us and something like this, will remind us about the concept, the rukun of Islam. So the same thing we can practice in awarding projects. Okay, now is 11. Is it that one? Alhamdulillah. So I've reached my end slide, inshallah. So the conclusion is that with this, Islam is indeed not only is a religion, but it is a way of life. Everything that we do, not only limited to prayers, to mosque, to musola, but everything we do, right from the time we wake up until the time we sleep, all facets of life should practice the Islamic principles. So and this is supported by empirical from, in this case, my PhD, that the improvement of project management, that the ILP can actually improve the potential of achieving project success, insyaAllah. Terima kasih, syukran jazilan, danke, grazie, obrigado, kozi, thank you, and gracias. This is my contact. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to Brother Awang, Isan.
Thank you very much to Muhammad Rosdi.
Yes. So just want to, who wants anything, so you can contact me.
Yeah. Thank you very much to our speaker for today, Surveyor Dr. Muhammad Rosdi, for his informative and interesting talk. Now, kepada sesiapa yang ada soalan nak ditanya kepada Surveyor Doktor, anda boleh kemukakan soalan sama ada melalui ruangan chat box di Webex ini ataupun boleh directly terus kepada Dr. Rosdi. Jika ada apa-apa soalan.
So berapa?
Ya.
Awang, berapa partisipan yang kita ada?
Partisipan yang kita ada 109.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, sorry. 109, Alhamdulillah.
Satu kes- Jadi jika ada if anyone from the audience would like to ask questions, you can ask the
This,
questions
I noticed,
directly to Dr.
saya
Rosdi.
nampak, saya nampak kakak saya pun ada kat situ, kakak saya. My sister. Okay. Prof. Hairudin also, and also ada juga yang nama-nama yang saya kenal lah.
Okey, jika tiada soalan, saya ada soalan, Doktor. Saya ada
Okay.
soalan. Uh,
Ya.
Soalan saya berkenaan dengan konsep of Islamic principle di dalam project management ini yang Tuan telah explain tadi. Adakah Tuan
Ya.
bercadang untuk membawa prinsip ataupun membawa konsep ini kepada lebih detail lagi ataupun lebih meluas lagi? Contoh seperti mungkin dari segi what do you call it, dari segi um, dia tak semestinya bahagian untuk hal-hal construction saja, mungkin dari segi education ke ataupun bantu dari segi education ataupun dari segi uh, pembelajaran kepada pelajar-pelajar. Jika ataupun mungkin boleh share idea ataupun boleh share pandangan Tuan berkenaan dengan macam mana kita nak lebih lebih implement this particular principle, bukan setakat di project management saja, mungkin di elemen-elemen yang lain.
Boleh. Of course, insyaAllah. Because sebenarnya pengalaman PhD itu membuatkan saya, so saya sekarang adalah saya praktis dan juga saya pun akademik. So I'm both practitioner and also academician lah, I would say, because sebab saya ada dua perspektif. Saya ada dunia professionals, practitioner, dan juga saya pun ada dunia akademik dengan PhD tu. Jadi sebenarnya kita memang nak promote ni. Kita memang hendak promote ni sebagai satu best practice. Kita nak supaya apa yang membezakan antara PM Box kita. PM Box is, of course, PM Box ni technical guideline di complete. But tetapi kita ada ruang kat situ di mana spiritual dan juga elemen-elemen itu tidak ada dalam technical guideline project management sekarang. Jadi maksud saya yang dimension itu. So jadi itulah yang kita akan imbuekan. Dan kita sebenarnya kita harap kita akan meluaskan lagi Islamic principle ini dalam perusahaan projek dan termasuk juga di IPTA. Kemungkinan saya dah beberapa kali present konsep ni, presentation ni, ILP, sama ada di JKR, di GPS, di kementerian, dan penerimaannya sangat baik. I mean, saya pernah semasa PhD tu present paper di Indonesia, even di Kyoto, di Portugal, di Lisbon. Tak ada yang kata Islamic principle ni tak praktikal dan sebagainya. In fact, beberapa orang saya punya interview with responden semasa PhD adalah non-Muslim. So mereka kata benda ni baik kerana kita tahu tadi rahmatan lil alamin. Islam adalah untuk semua, bukan untuk orang Islam saja. Sebab itu macam Islamic banking, kan? It is proven by Islamic banking bukan untuk orang Islam, bahkan kebanyakan pelanggannya sekarang, sukuk sekarang yang antara yang terbesar di dunia adalah non-Muslim, adalah bukan Islam, kerana konsep dia adalah dia adil, justice, tidak menindas, you know? Dia adalah konsep yang bukan sebelah pihak saja mengakunkan. So konsep-konsep itulah fair and justice, harmoni, uh, itulah. Saya sebenarnya sangat terima kasih kepada UiTM, FSPU, apa, Faculty of Temporary Islamic Contemporary kerana menjemput saya, dan insya-Allah saya sangat berbahagia, bergembira dan apa ni, I'm willing to participate sekiranya ada sesi-sesi akan datang. Kita nak kembangkan lagi ILP ni dalam projek management. Uh, Jawang, Brother Wang.
Okey, ada soalan daripada chat box ni. Cik dapat tengok? Okey, kalau tak saya bacakan soalan ni lah. Questions daripada Cik Muhammad Suhaimi bin Man. How do we implement this concept of project management? Not only focus on the project manager but also to look on the clients. Dekat chat box dia. Ada dekat chat box tu. Dia tanya, how do we implement this concept of project management not only focus to project manager but also to look on the clients.
Oh, klien perspektif lah.
Yes, clients perspective.
Of course. Sebab itu saya kata tadi, Cik Wang, kan, tuan-tuan, uh, we start, when we conducted this study, of course, we started with JKR, GPS, I mean the project manager lah. But actually, this concept is for all. Sebenarnya konsep ni untuk semua. Semua industry player. Maksudnya, project manager sama ada di pihak klien ataupun di pihak JKR, DPS dan semua stakeholders. So, konsep yang sama boleh di-apply. Prinsip yang sama. Cuma dia perspektif lain lah. Maksudnya prinsip ILP, prinsip syariah tu sama. Kan? Sama ada dia project manager ke, dia designer ataupun dia pelanggan, sama. Perspektif saja. So, bila konsep yang bulat tadi kan, yang project manager yang dimension tadi, actually saya bagi contoh project manager, tetapi sesiapa industry player dalam project management boleh melihat diri dia dalam dimension tersebut. So sama, konsep yang sama, cuma dia dari sudut berbeza, tapi prinsip dia sama saja. Berdawang.
Okey, terima
Okay.
kasih. Terima kasih sebagai doktor. Jadi, saya ada sedikit makluman untuk semua peserta.
Ya.
Attendance boleh diisi, boleh didapati daripada ruangan chat box di tepi, boleh isi melalui Google Form ini. Dan juga jika ada sebarang maklumat berkenaan dengan syariah in built environment ataupun procurement, PM design, risk dan sebagainya, anda boleh hubungi directly kepada pihak organizer, iaitu boleh email kepada mereka sibe.fspu@gmail.com. Boleh email, boleh minta apa-apa maklumat yang berkenaan dengan ataupun boleh bertanya soalan berkenaan dengan syariah in built environment ini. Jadi saya buka soalan last jika ada daripada sesiapa. Apa-apa soalan boleh tanya directly uh, kepada surveyor doktor jika ada soalan. Okey, saya rasa tak ada kot. Okey. Okay, jika tiada, ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the end of the presentation. We would like to say thanks again to Surveyor Dr. Muhammad Rosdi for his informative and interesting talk, and to the audience for your active participation. Hopefully, this presentation will be beneficial for everybody. Thank you very much for your attention. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita jaga kita mesti menang. Stay safe everybody. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih Berdawang, UiTM Sarawak, UiTM Syalam, semua Puan Harudin dan semua. Jumpa lagi insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
Berapa kontak saya. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi